everyone at Culch.ie. I'm here today with Audrey Niffenegger, who's the author of The Time Traveller's Wife and also the latest book, Her Fearful Symmetry, and Audrey's kindly agreed to answer a few questions for us. So first off, because the idea for The Time Traveller's Wife is from 97 and then in publication since 2003, are you a little bit sick to death of talking about it since the movie's come out?
Well, since I haven't seen the movie, I can't really talk about the movie, but, always glad to talk about the book. It's easy.
Just on a few questions about The Time Traveller's Wife. One of the things was, your initial idea for Claire was that she would go insane in the end.
Yes.
And you say basically the character herself led you away from it. And do you have that issue with characters where they go very far away from your plan just because of how their personality develops?
Yes, definitely. In the new book I had big plans for Robert, and the character just was not, he was more sensible than what I had in store for him, and so I had to change his trajectory.
Very good. Very good. I suppose, how do you feel about having changed the perception of what love is? How basically people would now say it can't really be expressed by a four-letter word, and that would be the thought of millions of people the world over now since Time Traveller's Wife.
It's a little hard for me to imagine that I have really affected people's views on love particularly profoundly. Time Traveller is a book, whereas you can't really know much about love unless you're in it or have been in it. It seems like one of those experiences that are somewhat unsayable. Having said that, I've gotten a tremendous amount of email from people who have had interesting experiences that somehow relate to having read the book. There's a lot of people making their spouses and boyfriends and girlfriends read it. So it seems to be an experience people want to share with the people they're dating or married to.
Okay. And I know you write comics as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any kind of favourite modern comics? Or?
Oh yeah, lots.
We're all geeks. So.
Yeah. Have you read Alison Bechdel's Fun Home?
I haven't. Maybe these girls will know.
Oh yeah, for one thing, she's fantastic. For many, many years she's been doing a strip called Dykes to Watch Out For, which is hilarious. And Fun Home is memoir, and it's about her experience of being brought up. Her father was a closeted gay man.
Okay.
And her family owned a funeral home. So Fun Home's kind of an abbreviation of that. And so she just had this kind of gothic childhood with lots of family secrets. And she's very funny. So it's a great, great comic.
Is the Night Bookmobile? Is there a reason why you serialised and didn't go for a book format? I know that we would have gotten it by Guardian UK, which was
right.
How we would have read it. But
about a year from now it's going to come out in a book format.
Oh, amazing.
But the project originated with The Guardian. They contacted me and said, would you like to do a comic? I was like, yes, thank you, I would. And so when I was conceiving of it, it started as a short story long ago, but then I decided that it would adapt well to the serial newspaper format.
Okay. I kind of wonder whether you write for the reader or for yourself, because I know for one thing, for Time Traveller's Wife you were saying it was quite dark, and then you introduced that they would have a daughter, and that kind of made it more palatable maybe to the reader. But then in the case of Her Fearful Symmetry, you have the passages of Dutch, which are maybe less accessible for a reader. So I'm just kind of wondering, do you start out kind of thinking that this is for myself, or this is ultimately for publication?
Certainly I try always to remember that there is a reader, I hope, and that my business is to interact with that reader on the page. Ultimately, I need to, first of all, be satisfied with it myself, but if no one can read it and have an interesting experience, then I can't put it out there.
Yeah.
So, there's all sorts of things that I scribble around for myself that no one ever will see, but when I'm intending to publish it, I definitely have a reader, a sort of ideal reader in mind. And the ideal reader doesn't mind going on Babelfish and translating it into Dutch.
You've written about the waiting in Time Traveller's Love is essentially, Time Traveller's Wife is waiting for love, basically. They're waiting to come back to each other, and I know that Henry was kind of an ideal because you didn't see him all the time, therefore he didn't get boring over a period of years. I wonder, how do you feel about marriage yourself, given that you don't have a time traveller?
Perhaps it speaks for itself that I never have been married. I sort of practice the serial monogamy route. That works for me.
You're writing The Chinchilla Girl in Exile?
Just started, yeah.
How's it going?
You know, the research looks like it's going to be fantastic fun. So at home I have this massive stack of books on hairiness and circuses and stuff like that.
You mentioned last night at the reading in Dundrum about imaginary books, and I was just wondering, I know you're hoping maybe that will come in a future project that someone might write. Just to explain to people, imaginary book is basically
Invisible.
invisible. Pardon me.
Yeah.
Invisible books are basically a book that isn't really in existence. It's mentioned within a real book, and that maybe someone might eventually write it, or it might come into being through having been mentioned. And I'm just kind of wondering, how do you feel about then fan fiction or kind of stuff popping up online? And
Yeah. I'm in favor of fan fiction. I mean, what I hope is that I'm leaving enough ambiguity and space inside my work so that people can grab parts of it and imagine for themselves what might be going on. So to me, that's kind of what fan fiction is. It's readers taking the ingredients of the book and thinking for themselves and creating themselves, and that's really interesting to me. I mean, I'm glad people do that. Yeah.
I think, well, finally we'll ask you, are you ever tempted to choose between just a writing career and giving up one or other of, I know because you make books as well and you're a visual artist, are you ever tempted to make a choice and just say, I'll do this one thing?
Oh no, that would be so sad. I mean, with the visual arts, I back in the day, that's what I chose. I mean, I said, okay, I will go to art school and I'm going to spend my life doing this, but I always was writing as well and trying to put it together. And in a way, what's happened to me in the last 10 years is ideal, because I have the freedom to do all these different kinds of projects, and I would hate to give it up, any of it.
Wouldn't have it up either way.
No.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much, Audrey.
Thank you so much.